Ooh,
I forgot Instagram again.
this is a cool new feature, the on-air thing like that. Looks so professional.
On air thing.
That's what it says at the top of my screen, on
It
air.
looks the exact same on my end.
Ah,
Maybe I need to update my side. All right, Dr. Tiff.
hey.
Happy Wednesday.
Yes, happy Wednesday.
Middle of the
Mm-hmm.
week. Here we are. How was your last week?
Well, I mean, so Thanksgiving came and went, but left some gifts, like the macaroni and cheese. Oh, it left some gifts. But yes, I am great. I'm great.
You know what? I actually attempted a low carb Thanksgiving and it worked.
Oh, wow.
So Amanda, she did instead of she did mashed potatoes for the purists, right? But then she did, was it radishes and parsnips? I think
Mm.
turnips and parsnips, and boiled them and mashed them, and it pulled off. She added one of those bars of Boursin cheese,
Uh-huh.
and it worked. It freaking worked. They tasted like mashed potatoes.
Oh, I
And
believe
then
it.
I did a keto cheesecake where I used allulose instead of sugar. Amazing. And
Oh,
my
wow.
blood sugar never went over like 100 after Thanksgiving, which is strange. And I even had some stuffing
Mm.
because you got to have stuffing.
Yeah, we eat dressing. We don't eat stuffing. We eat dressing.
So is dress, because I feel like stuffing is an Alabama thing and dressing is a California thing.
No, dressing is more of a black person thing.
Oh,
Is what it is. But no, it's a little southern too, because I do have some Caucasians out here that eat dressing too. It's southern too.
well, I guess I'm gonna have some dressing. What's the difference? The same thing. It's just the name, right?
Well, okay, so dressing is supposed to be made with cornbread as opposed to like stuffing, which may be a different type of bread. So the texture is different.
Oh, I did
Hmm.
not know this.
Hmm. Hmm.
It must be the years of wisdom that you have on me.
Oh, there we go. There we go. Okay, okay.
Hi, folks. Welcome to this live stream. My name is Jim, and that is the beautiful, wonderful Dr. Tiff. And if you've been invited to this, we're actually going to get somewhere with it, and it's going to be fun. Obviously, we try to be lighthearted with it. We try to have a little bit of fun with it. But if you've been invited to this, somebody thinks that the information in this might have some positive effect on your life. Um, there are a lot of people who will watch this live stream and genuinely change their lives after it. And it's one of my favorite things in the world. And I don't want to put words in your mouth, Dr. Tiff, but I think it's one of yours as well. We love doing it. And so with that in mind, it's only an hour long. So stick around, listen to us. Dr. Tiff is going to introduce herself here, but she actually has credentials. I'm just kind of the court gesture here to lead the nothing. Anyway, so my name is Jim, and I used to be a type 2 diabetic. And I love saying that I used to be a type 2 diabetic because I used to be one. I reversed it. Um, I have a 5.1% A1C down from 12.2, and I have not taken medications for nearly 3 years now, Dr. Tiff. It's hard to believe.
Awesome.
That is hard. February to be 3 years. That's hard to believe. That's like right around the corner. It's hard to believe that 2026 is here. Like we're gonna be,
Hmm.
it's
Hmm.
gonna be like right around the corner. Anyway, I've also lowered blood pressure and cholesterol and all sorts of wonderful things. So that's just my personal story. I went to TikTok and started talking about these products, and I have had no fewer than 100 people who used my referral link reverse type 2 diabetes as well. So it's not like I'm special. Like there are a lot of people that are doing this. And along the way, I met the wonderful Dr. Tiff. And Dr. Tiff, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Well, look, Stacy's in the comments talking about it's not a black people thing. That is okay. But I love my dressing. Now, I don't love it as much since I've been changing my lifestyle. I am a double board certified physician in family and lifestyle medicine. And I was doing private practice, practicing for 20 years. I mean, it's probably hard to believe that I've been practicing for 20 years, but I have. And I was doing private practice, urgent care, I even did telemedicine for the last few years across 48 states. So I got to see just how many people were like Jim, busted in there with A1Cs over 10, 12, 14, and not really feeling like they knew how to make the changes. And I didn't really feel like I had the right tools to help them be successful. So I decided there's got to be something else. I got into lifestyle medicine, got board certified in that. Then I turned around and decided, you know what? I want to learn under Dr. Ben Bickman. He is freaking awesome with that bald head of his. I want to have some information, right? I got certified as a metabolic health coach too. But along the way, I started getting on Facebook, no less, talking about these products, talking about lifestyle changes. And then that's when I got connected with the person we know who said, hey, have you heard about these products? And like Jim and like a lot of people on here, it's like, that's a scam. I mean, I didn't want to believe it either, but I did the research. I vetted it out. It made sense for me. And then I started using it. I got off of my blood pressure medicine. I started getting the waist back that I wanted to have, after having 3 kids. It's a nice thing. Stop having hot flashes, stop having migraines. Then I helped my brother, who was in the ICU for the second time for his type 2 diabetes. I helped him be able to get off his insulin, his Trulicity, his metformin. And then this time of year, I usually struggle with things like seasonal depression. And I used to be on medication for that. No need for that since I've been using these products. So many things have improved in my life, and then so many, hundreds, maybe even thousands at this point. And then if we talk about how we help people by extension, we got so many people that have gotten their lives back. So why wouldn't we be on here every week?
It is really cool. That right there, Dr. Tiff, is the coolest thing. I like the tree effect, right? Like it's hey, in comes the holidays, in comes Christmas. Let's talk about the tree, right? It just keeps growing and growing. You said a couple of things in there that I kind of want to touch on. The first was that you had high blood pressure yourself. Mm-hmm. And if you don't mind, of course, you don't know that she doesn't know that I'm going to do this to her, but I'm going to do this to her. You're a doctor, and inevitably, when somebody would get high blood pressure, you would tell them, eat better, try and clean up the diet, whatever. Yet you had high blood pressure. And I see a lot of doctors that have had type 2 diabetes, have had the not so optimal waist circumference. I think that's the nice way to say it, right?
Yeah.
So it happens to doctors just the same.
Yeah.
And then something else you said, and you always high level glaze over this thing. By the way, we're getting a lot of hellos. Hi, Lucy.
Hello.
Hi, Dr. G. Hi, everybody. And I saw somebody before I go much further, and I forget, somebody asked a little bit ago what was the sugar alternative, and it was allulose. Allulose. Allulose.
Yeah, that's a good one.
It does not increase your glucose, doesn't affect your glucose, but it does increase your GLP-1. It's amazing. Mm-hmm. It's absolutely amazing. And Dr. Tiff's going to talk about GLP-1 here shortly. But you always do this high-level thing on Dr. Ben Bickman and your certification with Dr. Ben Bickman. So I want you. Who is Dr. Bickman? Let's just start there. Who is Dr. Bickman?
Yeah, it's so funny because when you're a nerd like I am, you fangirl over different types of people. And I fangirl over this man. I mean, the leading authority on insulin resistance. I mean, books. One of my books I have sitting back up here, How Not to Get Sick, Why We Get Sick. He's even been on podcasts, Diary of a CEO, no less. I mean, just popping up everywhere. But he really explains insulin resistance better than anyone I know. And to be able to learn from somebody who just has so much information floating around their head is crazy. I mean, teaching at Brigham Young University, all these studies and PubMed, talking about yerba mate, talking about insulin resistance. If you don't know him, you need to look him up. If you have any idea about insulin resistance, you need to look him up. And if you want to have some more information, Insulin IQ is a place to where people who are just trying to find coaches to help them make the lifestyle changes can connect. And they walk you through that. So that's what I learned in that program. But also having access to, my boyfriend.
And you are a coach.
Yes.
So if you wanted, you could go and get Dr. Tiff as a coach. She's been certified by him. And that's a big deal. That's really a big deal because he is the world's leading metabolic scientist right now. This is what he does. He studies the fat cell. He's a fat scientist, and that's always important to say. He is far from fat. He doesn't have an ounce of fat on his body.
No.
He is not a fat scientist. He is a fat scientist.
Right.
Emphasis. I put the emphasis on the wrong syllable.
Yeah. Fat.
Yeah, he's a fat scientist, not a fat scientist. Anyway, he grows fat cells, and then he studies the disease that accompanies that.
Yep.
And he can't do his job without insulin. And so because insulin plays such a big role, he really spends a lot of time. He's kind of dedicated himself to that. World's leading metabolic scientist, and Dr. Tiff is one of his coaches. She's been certified by him. And so when you kind of just glaze through that, I always kind of want to like build on that and say, you know what? I mean, let's stop. Let's pump the brakes a little bit, because that's a big deal. And I'm very thankful that you're here. I think I speak for a lot of our audience when I say I'm very thankful. I think a lot of people are thankful that you're here. She shows up every week. Dr. Tiff, what's your billing rate for this? How much money are you making off of this?
Zero.
You just out sharing.
Just out sharing.
I love that. Coach Chef Kiki, how are you? She says hi as well.
Hey, Kiki.
Okay. So the way that this works is we go for about an hour. Yes. And we bring in a couple guest testimonials to talk about the field grade system, their journey on the field grade system. Dr. Tiffany is going to go through a presentation where she's really going to drill down and explain to you what this high-level problem is, what really is causing all this disease and sickness. And then if there's any time left over at the end, I kind of go through a little bit of science and kind of talk about how to do this. So stick around. It's about an hour, and we're already 12 minutes into that. So there's only 48 minutes to go.
Dr. Tiff, quick. Okay.
Yeah, no, it went pretty fast, didn't it?
Yes.
I talk too much. By the way, my voice sounds horrible, doesn't it?
No, it's fine. It's just a little scratchy.
It's not going away. It's been like this for like I think it was like this a little bit last Wednesday.
Oh, man.
Man. Not going away. So anyway, I apologize. Sounds like I just smoked like 5 packs of cigarettes. Okay. So Dr. Tiff, look at this. I mean, look at this.
Oh, Lucy. Lucy's in the house.
Everybody loves Dr. Tiff.
I love y'all back. These are my people.
Okay. So Dr. Tiff.
Uh-huh.
Who are we bringing up first?
Oh, you know what? I don't ever warn them. We just kind of just pop up here and we're like, you gonna be next. Yep. But oh my gosh, yes, Coach Nettie, Lynette. Oh, I like this woman. I got to spend time with her when one of our friends actually had me out in Maryland. So I was speaking at events and I got a chance to hang out with Lynette at her house. And one, she has some great results, but bigger than that, she's just got such a sweetheart, and she's been coaching and doing exercise classes. She's been doing this stuff, longer than me practicing medicine, if I'm not mistaken. Am I mistaken? But anyhow, so I am just excited to have her on here, and she is just such a light. And you have the floor, Lynette. Go ahead, Coach Nettie.
Well, thank you so much, Coach Tiff. And I have to say, she is so dedicated to what she does. Yes, she came to Maryland, and I just enjoy every moment with her because she's a straight shooter when it comes to health and wellness. And that's what I like. I like that. And she's very honest, whether she can help or she can, or I try to get some help for you. So I like that. But yes, so my name is Lynette. Some people know me as Nettie. Some people know me as Coach Nettie. Nettie was a name that I grew up with. My father used to call me. But in school, Jim, I was Lynette. Lynette on here. So my journey is, some people will say, because your story is your story, and some stories are huge and some stories seem so small, but your health is what's most important. Mm-hmm. So you may not have been on 5 medicines and this and that and other, and you got off, but your story is about you, and you have to be intentional about your health. So around 2020, I'd gone to the doctor. I'd become a certified health coach. So at that time, during that time, they taught you how to eat your breakfast, eat little meals in between, eat your lunch, then eat your other little meals in between. And that's supposed to maintain your weight and all that kind of good stuff. And well, at that time, when I went to the doctor, and the doctor said your blood pressure is like 140, 150. And I guess she looked at my records and says, hey, you've been having some problems with it. I was like, I didn't know. And it was like over 90. And I told her, as a health coach, I know there's something I can do food wise, and I don't have to, get on this medication. I don't want to. So when she said, okay, well, I want you to see a nutritionist. So I said, I can do that because I really don't know too much about what the nutritionist does. So I went, the first thing she suggested was, and at that time I was like 193, 94, 95, somewhere fluctuating right there. And she said, I want to try intermittent fasting. And I said, well, I've never done that before, but if that'll help me as far as with clients, yeah, let's do it. I was already charting my meals. And so I did that with her for about 3 months. I didn't see any changes. I would drink water in the morning, eat a little lunch, and then I did do a couple snacks here, but I tried to do healthy snacks and eat. And I said, nothing is happening. So I just stopped going, which was bad because y'all don't do that. At least have the conversation with the provider. And I never had that conversation with her. So I just stopped going. I said, well, I can try something else. So fast forward, couple of years went by and I was growing. I don't mean taller. I was growing out. And I was like, dang, something got to give here. And one of my friends at work was a bodybuilder. And she said, hey, I want you to get this scale. It tells you everything on the scale. So I got the scale. This was last February, 2024. Got the scale. Had the scale for a couple of months before I even got on it because it's digital and I had to figure all that out. So I figured that out. In that scale, I want to say it wasn't telling the truth, but it said I was 202 pounds. Now, at that time, I'm looking a little chunky, but my wrists, y'all see my wrists, they're not big. I don't have any ankles. I don't have enough to carry that, right? So I'm thinking, goodness, my blood pressure still ranging 135, 140 or so. I said, you know what? I might have to start this medicine. And I just don't want to do that. My story was not going to be my mother's story. My mother was on blood pressure when she was in her 30s until she left here at 79 and she ended up on dialysis. And I said, I knew then that that's not hereditary. Her mother was a diabetic. I said, that's not going to be my story either. So she wasn't saying I was diabetic and maybe early pre-diabetic, not, far, not in the 60s, so maybe 6.1 or so. So I said, okay, let me see what I got to do. So I went to Virginia Beach, went with my sister, visited with my sister and brother from another mother, Bev and Johnny. And I got there, Bev said, like we said, she has no filter. She said, what's going on with your stomach? And I said, I'm trying to figure that one out too. So I'm like, you got something. Because, she's a health coach. She's a counselor. We've been doing this health journey together for about the last 14 years or so. I've known her. She worked under the direction of my husband, knew when she first started on her health journey. So I trusted them. Sometimes y'all, you got to trust your friends. And so they said, we started this new protocol and, we want you to try it. And Johnny's tried it and da-da-da-da. I said, what do I have to lose? I'm the cleaners are shrinking my clothes, and I need some help. I'm not trying to go on these medicines. And y'all, I was frustrated. I wasn't giving up, but I'm trying to figure out, I'm telling people what they can do, but it's not working for me. So they said, first, you got to do intermittent fasting. I said, okay, I tried that before. This is a little different though. You're going to sip this tea. You're just going to sip, skip your breakfast, eat lunch, and then sip. And then there's this fiber. And so I said, okay, nothing had happened, mind y'all, for me, as far as weight, blood pressure for, I know 5 years or so. So I wasn't looking for any real results. So that was in May 24. June, I decided to get on my little new scale again. And that scale said 186 pounds. And I was like, what? From 202 to 186. I had not been able to lose any weight in 5 or 6 years. And I did not know that if your glucose was high, you can't lose weight, right? You have an ability to do that. So, and then I checked my blood pressure. It was 117/77. I hadn't seen that since I was like 50 when I had a hysterectomy. And that's kind of when everything started going. I was like, wow. So I was excited, right? I was more than excited. Then, and I didn't get back on the scale again and check. I was checking my blood pressure until September. When I got back on that time, it said 178. I said, okay, this is looking good. And now I'm sharing with people because once I find something that's working and it's all natural, I'm gonna have to worry about whether I'm going to lose my gallbladder and I'm gonna go, my stomach's gonna get paralyzed. Because then I realized after getting all this great information from Dr. Bittman that I had some friends years ago, mother and daughter, that were diabetic. The mother ended up going blind and the daughter got gastroparesis. She died at 35 years old. I'm thinking I knew it was diabetes, but I had no idea the connection with the medicine. So that revelation just came to me like a couple months ago. And I said, I'm not going in that direction. So December rolled around, it went down to like 174. Now I don't hop on and off the scale all the time like that, because you kind of know from your clothes and how you feeling. Because if your clothes getting a little looser around where you want it to, you do that. But I can tell you this, it's been a great journey for me. It's been a great journey just listening and learning from all the healthcare professionals. Y'all, yep, people that are on here. Even if you never ever want to do this, to get on one of those calls, I mean, that you're going to pay somebody with like Jim said, a few $100s to tell you this, when you can get on these calls and listen to it for free. And then you get to know, because the science is, you can't beat the science. You can't beat the science. But, and I feel great.
I don't know about you, but I definitely picked up a little bit, some notes of Beverly. And I don't know if it's her rubbing off on Beverly or Beverly rubbing off on her, but the sister from another mister, I hear it. I hear it. She yelled at me at the conference.
Not surprised. Not surprised. I love my Beverly.
Yeah, she yelled at me.
No, I'm sure she didn't yell at you.
Oh, it felt like she did.
But thank you so much, Lynette. I always love hearing you and all the things you're doing to help everybody around you. You are awesome. So happy to be working with you and to hear your story.
So you're down 30 something pounds, as I understand it, right?
Yes.
Blood pressures, the issues are gone. They're in the rearview mirror. Blood tests, everything's
good.
Beautiful.
Good. Yes.
And I want to just touch on something that I kind of brought up with Dr. Tiff earlier. You're in the medical field and you found yourself metabolically dysfunctional as well. And I swear, I think that what happens, and this is just my little piecing it together, I'm trying to be Sherlock Holmes. I would say I'd smoke a pipe, but my voice can't handle it right now.
No.
I think what happens is you guys end up pouring yourselves into people you don't know, strangers, and giving everything you got, and then you end up not taking care of yourselves in the process. Does that make sense?
Oh, that's 100% right. And it doesn't just happen with caregivers, healthcare field. It's any caregiver. I mean, that's why you have so many women who take care of people with Alzheimer's who end up having Alzheimer's themselves. We don't put ourselves on the top of the list. And so you hit it nail on the head.
Mm-hmm. Lynette, that was amazing. What I would like to do. Oh.
My husband just had reconstructive knee surgery, and he started the system, the protocol, around the same time I did. And he just started. He said, "I just saw you drinking, so I'm gonna drink too." And he had to have all his numbers right before he went into surgery, and he hadn't been doing it like he was supposed to, and his pressure was up. I said, "You're not doing it." He started drinking real fast. Then, brought it down, and I really feel like his recovery has been faster because of the protocol.
Mm-hmm.
He graduated out of therapy about 2 weeks ago. He started in July, and he's walking pretty good.
Well, and Dr. Tiff,
awesome.
I'm gonna, but I gotta think that a lot of that has to do with the anti-inflammatory effects of the tea.
Oh, 100%. And the fiber. Both of them decrease inflammation.
There you go.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So, Lynette, what I'd like to do is I want to shut that camera off, let Dr. Tiff go through a presentation. I'll bring out the other guest here in a little bit. But I would love it if you'd hang out so we can bring you back out at the end of the live if anybody has any questions for you. Does that?
Surely.
Oh, you are a rock star.
Thank
Absolute
you.
rock star. And I didn't know it Tiff, why didn't you tell me that she was in the audience? She's here.
You're so crazy.
She heard me.
Yeah, she heard you, but it was all in love, is what she said. That is so nice.
Hi, Beverly. Hi, Miss Beverly. Hope you had a wonderful Thanksgiving. Love you.
You're best. You're best. Oh,
Dr. Tiff, you want to show these people what's going on here?
oh yes, entirely.
Show these people, go through and explain to them. You know what I think you should do? At the end of this, no, never mind.
Oh, what? You trying to
No,
get me something
never
else?
mind.
Oh, okay. Can't be flipping stuff up now.
I know.
I was already on the roll.
I know. I stopped.
Well, okay. So we're talking about a much bigger picture. I know Jim has this awesome story. You know, you don't go through all the details of all the things that have improved for you, but you know, we really talk about the diabetes and reversing that A1C, but you had a lot of things improve. And so I think people forget that. I was able to get off my blood pressure medicine. I mean, Lynette lost weight. You have people that have anxiety, depression. There's all these other things. And so what is the real problem?
Hey, Dr. Tiff, I'm going to shut my camera off here in just a moment, but I'm just going to control the camera that is that thing real quick. You say the things that I don't talk about. I talk about the diabetes because that's very impactful. I talk about my cholesterol because that's impactful, my blood pressure, you know. But you know what I had for dinner tonight?
What?
Spaghetti. I used to have heartburn so bad that if I would have smelled the spaghetti sauce, like if I'd have walked by it, heartburn. In fact, I had esophageal spasms. And I thought they were heart attack. I literally, at the age of 26, I probably was 25, I thought I had a heart attack. I couldn't breathe. My chest locked up. And I went in at 25, 26 years old. They gave me my first stress test. And they were like, yeah, your heart's fine. I was like, well, then what the hell was that? And they said, do you have acid reflux? And I said, I do. And they said, esophageal. And so I've actually had that happen 3 separate times in my life where I had those esophageal spasms. And when I talk about the things that have changed in my life, I don't talk about that enough, but it's just ironic that you said that. And tonight for dinner, I had spaghetti, something I would have never had before. You better truth about our talk. I was not yelling. You're right. You were not yelling. Beverly was not yelling at me. Everybody get the record straight. Beverly was not.
I told you she wasn't yelling.
She was not yelling at me.
And I wasn't even there.
She was giving me a hug. She was not yelling at me. I'm going to turn your camera back on and I will get out of your hair.
No, and I'm so glad you say that because so many people ask, I have GERD. Is this going to help? It is amazing how many things this product helps. If we address the insulin resistance, so many things get better. And we're going to see that wheel of misfortune in a minute. So this picture right here is looking at a study that was done in 2022. And it said that only 7% of Americans actually have good cardiometabolic health. That's 7%. If y'all do the math, that means 93% are struggling somewhere in something like that. GERD, anything, migraines, high blood pressure, all those things we find are related. Now, the medications we use to prescribe to help this only help 1 out of 100 people. So if you're like me, you're thinking, is that worth it? No, it's not. But if you make the lifestyle changes, you can actually improve these symptoms, your cardiovascular risk by 39%, up to 39% with lifestyle changes. Okay. What's sad is that here we are, and heart disease is still the #1 killer with all the information we know. So something is missing. And here's that wheel of misfortune I was talking about. And this doesn't even include everything. But you do see the GERD, you do see the leptin resistance, hypothyroidism, and leptin. That actually should be a whole nother talk because that is a whole nother discussion. But the cholesterol, that's the dyslipidemia, the neuropathy, diabetes, of course, all these things with insulin right at the root. And so when I say insulin, I got to remember that everybody doesn't understand what I'm talking about. The pancreas releases insulin. It's a hormone. Insulin is needed to actually get glucose, because that's what that molecule is, into the cells. Glucose comes from the food we eat, the carbohydrates, the fat, the protein. Well, not so much from the fat, mostly the carbohydrates and some from the protein, but you need the insulin to get that into the cell. And so when you are having problems listening to your insulin, because that's what insulin resistance means, you're not listening to it as well, you're having symptoms like these: cravings for sugar, salty, difficulty losing weight, particularly around the middle, because when insulin is high, it's going to store that glucose, that food you eat, as fat. I have so many women that would be like, I barely eat anything, but as soon as I have a piece of cake, it goes straight to my hips. Well, it literally probably is. And so constantly hungry, the skin tags, the dark patches of skin on your neck, that's because insulin can also act like a growth hormone and overgrow those skin to make skin tags or the patches. And then irregular cycles, adrenal pause. I mean, so many other things, okay? And how did we get here? Well, I mean, what's really sad is that this is becoming a global epidemic. We just had World Diabetes Day, November 14th, but 3 in 4 adults actually have type 2 diabetes, and it's going across the world. And then the estimate is that 35% of Americans will have diabetes by 2050. That's a third of us, people. And then, you know what? It's not, it's not like there's one particular race that's free. No, we all are getting this, some to a little less extent, but we all are suffering. That's why so many people can benefit from what we're talking about. Now, how did we get here? It has a lot to do with what we were teaching people to do. When I say we, I mean the health community, the coaches, the nutritionists, the doctors. We were teaching people to pay attention to that food pyramid that had us eating 6 to 11 servings of carbohydrates a day. Okay, problematic, but also that you needed to eat every couple hours. Because I know if I would ask this question, how many of you were told you had to eat to fuel your metabolism? I told people this. So every couple hours, you're reaching for a snack. And what's the easiest snacks to get? Carbohydrates. And so you wake up in the morning. Now, first of all, when you wake up in the morning, your insulin level is going to be the lowest because you've been sleeping all night and you haven't been snacking while you're sleeping, right? So your insulin is low. Your pancreas has no reason to release insulin. So that first meal is going to make a big difference. So if you have pancakes, waffles, a muffin, granola, you think you're doing good with your oatmeal, those are carbohydrates. And a lot of those are processed depending on if you made your own granola. Okay, most of us didn't, right? So that's going to kick up your carbohydrates and thus kick up your glucose and make your pancreas release a lot of insulin. That's why you see that dotted line spike up. You have an insulin spike. And so because you have that insulin spike, that good amount of insulin is going to shoot down the glucose. So you're going to have a sugar drop. And so a couple hours later, you're looking for the next snack and you're kind of hungry. And what's the easiest things to do? Carbohydrate, chips, crackers, cookies, those things you get out the vending machine, right? That kicks up your glucose again. Insulin spike goes up again. Then we have another crash and you're doing the same thing at lunch. And if you're out at work and you didn't prepare, it's so much easier to grab that piece of pizza, that sandwich, that burger, or whatever's being offered to you. And there you go, carbohydrate spike again. And you see what I'm talking about here. Next thing you know, you have dinner, then you may have dessert, but insulin doesn't really have a chance to come all the way down. And so your insulin is staying high. And so you have some people that go to the doctor and they have all those symptoms on that symptom sheet before: the difficulty losing weight around the midsection, the brain fog, right? The constantly wanting to snack. But they say, and they have family members that have type 2 diabetes. So they're like, oh my gosh, I'm acting just like Aunt Bessie and she had her foot amputated. I don't want that. So I'm going to the doctor, I'm getting my labs checked, but your A1C is normal. Your glucose is normal. All your labs are normal, but you don't feel normal. And the reason why is because your doctor's not checking your insulin. So I like to call this frustration land, because you go to the doctor just knowing something's not right and you leave without any more information. And your doctor, all they're going to tell you, and I know because I've been there, is, hey, so let's just work on the weight. But it's more than working on the weight, because just eating less and exercising more isn't going to get you out of this. You need your insulin to come down, okay? We need that hormone to actually come down. Because when it's high, it causes a whole bunch of havoc. I already talked about when it's high, it actually stores fat, right? But when it's high, it causes your kidneys to hold on to sodium. And since water follows sodium, that's going to increase blood volume. Then it causes blood vessel constriction because it doesn't allow nitric oxide to do its job. Nitric oxide actually dilates blood vessels. So now you have stiffened vessels. Okay, and then it causes inflammation of the inside lining of the blood vessels. So then the blood is not going to flow smoothly without an increased pressure. Now you have high blood pressure. So it's not the salt you're eating, unless you're eating a whole bunch of salt, a whole bunch of processed foods, but it's not really the salt, it's the sugar. And it causes high cholesterol. That's what hyperlipidemia is. It makes the liver make the LDL small particles that get into the blood vessel linings. And that's what causes the inside of the blood vessel to get smaller and smaller and smaller, to close off, to where you get things like heart attacks, strokes, the stuff that take us out of here. That's because of those small, dense particles. You also get a decrease in your HDL, which is the protective part of the cholesterol, and you get an increase in triglycerides. That's for a lot of people when they get their labs done, they'll be like, "Oh, my triglycerides were high," but and nobody would really explain it. But the triglycerides being high are a good sign of inflammation and problems with insulin resistance. Then when your insulin is high, it causes your ovarian cysts, ovaries to make cysts. These are for women. And then it promotes weight gain for women, causes hair growth on the chest, the face, places where that's not supposed to be happening for us, but it disrupts menstrual cycles. And so you have women who cannot have children because of this. And simply reversing insulin resistance has allowed women to have children. We were on the cruise with some of them. I mean, not too long ago. This is really happening for people when they actually make these changes. And then the menopause side of things, the erectile dysfunction, that's partly related to the whole blood vessel issue, but also the low testosterone doesn't help that either. And you end up having a conversion from the testosterone to an estrogen-like product that ends up causing the man boobs. This is from insulin resistance. And so the other part of this that I think sometimes gets maybe looked over and not fully understood is how insulin resistance goes hand in hand with chronic inflammation, which I want to believe is how it even helps with things like GERD. Now, I don't have the full science on that, but decreasing that inflammation would certainly make a difference. But this chronic inflammation, we end up seeing problems with gut dysbiosis. And okay, so you have trains of bacteria in your gut, and they're supposed to be there doing a job, breaking down our food, getting the nutrients out of there. If they are not functioning well, if you have bad bacteria there, if you have yeast there, that is now called gut dysbiosis, because that's not what's supposed to be there. Your gut microbiome is supposed to be there to do a particular job. Particular type of bacteria is supposed to be there. Okay, so when chronic inflammation comes into play, you get those things that aren't supposed to be there. Start eating on the gut lining, and now you get things leaking out of the gut that aren't supposed to leak out. So when you eat, we're getting the nutrients, we're getting the vitamins, we're getting rid of the toxins. We're expelling that in our stools. But if you have leaky gut, some of that stuff is getting out into your body. And so this can account for some people how they're like, "Oh my gosh, my stomach hurts. I'm having bloating. I have pain when I eat foods. But you know what? I didn't feel this way 10 years ago. So I don't know why I'm feeling this way now." You are probably struggling with leaky gut with all this inflammation from the insulin resistance. And so the other part of this, you have that stuff leaking out into your abdominal cavity, and the T cells, which are part of our immune system that actually tell your body what not to attack, they're impaired because of this chronic inflammation. So now you got this gunk floating around all in your body, and your body's trying to save you. It's trying to attack that gunk, but at the same time, it's attacking you. That's what autoimmune conditions are. Self-attack would be what I'm going to say that. I just broke that out into something different. But really, it is your body attacking itself. Your thyroid gland, Hashimoto's, is your thyroid gland. You attacking your thyroid gland. Multiple sclerosis is your brain getting attacked by yourself. Lupus, rheumatoid arthritis, attacking the joints, attacking the gut, Crohn's, ulcerative colitis, all these things improve when we start attacking the insulin resistance. And how can this be reversed? Well, one easy fix, or one easy step in the right direction, is cutting out the processed foods. That's what's really killing us. Anything that's barcoded, boxed, or bagged is not our friend. It is literally there to keep us eating it. It's addictive. And so there's 8 signs your body's addicted to sugar. And so many people dealing with insulin resistance understand this. This is what they feel. And the sugar, oh man, that kicks up in our bloodstream so much so it lights up, it releases so much dopamine that lights up our brain, right? And dopamine is that neurotransmitter that comes out because, we're having a great time. It comes out on things when we aren't, all those illicit behaviors or bad behaviors or good behaviors. It gets high when we're having a good time. So that sugar does that. Now, protein doesn't do that. Fat doesn't do that. And unfortunately, when you're eating these processed foods, because they have a lot of sugar, because that's why they were made to be addictive, you feel as if they're calling your name. You feel as if you cannot say no. You cannot eat just one. And that's because the processed foods, the ultra processed foods, particularly, not just processed, ultra processed. That's when you look at the back of the box and you can't even read the ingredients. That means made in the lab. You can't You can't duplicate it, okay? Ultra processed, okay? Those have particularly lost all the fiber. So we don't have anything in there to dampen that glucose spike as God intended. I mean, that's how this was supposed to help us. The fiber was supposed to do so many things, decreasing the inflammation that caused all those other things on that slide I was talking about, even the joint pain, the back pain. So many things are affected by this inflammation. And then you have it how it helps and dampens the blood sugar. We need the fiber for that. And then we need the phytonutrients in all the different colors. That's on purpose. That's not there just to be pretty. There are particular things that actually help our body with those different colors, different antioxidants. And then fasting. This is another thing you can do without paying a dime. And that's really just not eating for a particular set of time. But when I say fasting, a lot of people run for the hills and don't understand what I'm saying. But we're really just organizing when you eat. So you're going to eat in this window, 1 to 8 p.m. That's your window. Or 12 to 8 p.m. or 1 to 6 or 1 to 5. You're going to find a window to eat, and you're going to not eat after it. So that way you give your body time for your pancreas to get a break so the insulin can come down. But there's so many benefits. We have somebody that even got a Nobel Prize with this pretty much because he saw all these healing benefits. After 24 hours of fasting, your gut repairs itself. After 36 hours of fasting, you can start having more fat burning. After 48 hours of fasting, you can start actually rebooting those dopamine receptors. So that way you aren't as easily addicted to all that sugar. There's so many benefits. And then even the immune boost, the immune repair. And so what are some things you can do also? So many people think GLP-1 and these shots, these receptor agonists, are the cure, but we actually have a natural GLP-1 hormone that can actually help us. It was actually there to help us, but because we've been eating all those processed foods, we've been eating all these fruits and vegetables with all this other gunk on it, we've been not doing our sleep and our stress well, we don't take care of our GLP-1 well. And we want to, because that hormone, it actually talks to your hypothalamus. It's at the bottom of your brain and tells you need to stop eating. But it slows down how food moves through your gut. So that's why Big Pharma figured out a way to capitalize on this and made something that is a receptor agonist, meaning it binds to the receptor to pretend like it's that hormone. And that's what those drugs do. And in so doing, they come with some baggage. And 40% of the weight loss that happens with those injectables ends up being your muscle and your bone. And if you're over 20, you need your muscle in your bones. Because I'm not trying to be 70 and can't get off the floor, but that's what happens when we lose those important things. Plus the serious complications, thyroid cancer risk, pancreatitis, gastroparesis, that's when your stomach gets paralyzed, right? That sounds as bad as it sounds. Gut perforation, okay? That's a hole in your gut. And then the whole point of taking these things is so that it turns off the food noise, turns off the sugar noise. But after 2 years, its effects stop happening. And so now you need a stronger dosage. Now you need a different medication. And so I used to experience this in practice, and it used to hurt my heart because now I'm like giving you more medicines when we really didn't fix the problem. So how about we just need to boost our natural GLP-1? How about we need to do that? And how do we do that? Well, great thing is with the Unimate, it actually boosts the GLP-1 levels by 60 to 70%. And the ferulic acid, another part of that Unimate, when it acts on the gut, which is why we need a healthy gut, right? It acts on the gut, which is where GLP-1 comes from the small intestine. It actually allows you to have more GLP-1 in your bloodstream because it stops the breakdown of GLP-1, okay? And then the balance. I went into good detail about the gut microbiome, how we need this to be functioning correctly. We do. This was put in our bodies on purpose to help us get all the nutrients from our food. And so with that 7-strand fiber blend that we have in the balance with the chromium and the other vitamins we have in there, it helps us heal our gut. And we had a great talk yesterday with a good example of someone who actually had his gut microbiome tested before starting the products and then after the products. And seeing those types of results just fully makes this make more sense. This is what we're doing. We're helping people take back control, eat what they need to eat, and get what they need to get out of what they do, add to the lifestyle changes to get them to be able to reverse these issues. So why am I speaking up? Thousands of lives have been changed. We got 1 million people that have actually started the Feel Great system. 1 million people at this point. Okay. And I get to see texts like these on a regular basis about these results and people with their results. Insulin resistance is not the genetic cause that we think it is. You know what it is? The stress eating, the nostalgic eating, the bad choices. That's the genetic problem, and that can be fixed. But when we add the lifestyle changes, we can most certainly change insulin resistance entirely. And I'm loving what I'm seeing. So what's stopping you? Take back control of your health right now. Don't wait till January 1. I don't know what we're trying to do. Wait till January 1. I hope that this presentation helps you to, one, feel empowered, and helps you to, one, want to talk to other people. So it's not just me wearing this cape, because I think I'm a superhero. But I am literally just a doctor tired of writing prescriptions. And you can find me on TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and on Wednesdays.
And on Wednesdays. Oh, you're amazing. You're amazing. You break that down and make it easy to understand, digestible. That's a funny choice of words, right? Digestible for somebody like
Digestible.
me to understand. Okay, well, thank you, Dr. Tiff. I hope everybody learned something from that. Look at this. Love, super doctor.
That's right.
Dun,
dun, dun.
I think we have a costume idea for next Halloween, Dr. Tiff.
I know. Don't play with me.
You're a superhero, Dr. Tiff.
Oh, we all are.
Okay. So I want to bring out Miss Jody here. And I'm going to be honest, I don't really know Jody's story much at all. I was introduced to Jody by Kristen, and I had a brief conversation with her earlier. And as I was talking, I was like, well, hold on. I don't want any details. So I'm hearing this literally for the first time as well. But I'm really excited about it. I'm really excited about it. So, hi, Jody.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm great. Thank you. I actually learned a ton of things from Dr. Tiffany just now. So I appreciate that.
You know what? Leptin signaling, Dr. Tiff. She was asking about leptin signaling earlier. So
yeah.
Yeah.
And that's brand new information for me. And so I'm very interested in learning more about that. And I can definitely see that in my situation as well with I currently take Mounjaro. I am a type 2 diabetic. However, my A1Cs are at 5.1 actually. And so the doctors are really, really happy with that. I started taking the system back in March. Wasn't really consistent with it like I wanted to be at first, but I was drinking it and trying to remember to take the fiber as well. And really wanted to kind of make the Mounjaro work even more because I was kind of having a stall. And so, and the doctor wanted to increase my Mounjaro, which we did over time. And my goal, though, is to do great with this system, and which is it is doing so great for me, um, and then come off of the Mounjaro eventually, and then just really take this as a natural avenue, and really just focus on being healthy and making the choices and the intermittent fasting, which I did not realize is such a big factor. Big factor. And I could have knocked myself up a little bit for not realizing that a little bit sooner, but but definitely it's been a really great journey so far. It's only been about 5 months doing it every day, about 8 months doing it sporadically there at the beginning. But I get about 10,000 steps a day now.
Wow.
Yeah, it's I tell people about the system, and they're like, kind of giving that look, and I'm like, yeah, I know, I was there, I agree. But and I'm super nervous to talk to you guys, but for some reason it's just coming right out. But
I think you're
because
doing amazing.
Oh, great. Because
Great.
I'm so new that I still have like my price tag on me. You haven't even got me out of the bag yet, really. I feel like, especially listening to Jim or anyone else tell their stories and talk about the science, and really just educating us so much on those. I do the TikTok live is where I've found you guys. So, but really just have learned so much, and have really adopted a lot of the practices into my lifestyle change, and drinking the tea and the fiber, and I can't get enough of the stuff. I actually drink probably about 3 or 4 teas a day.
Mm.
And I've been incorporating
Welcome to the club.
yeah. I
Yeah.
didn't realize there was a club, and so that's awesome.
I
Yay.
think I'm on 4 right now. I might be on 5.
Yeah, I think I'm on 4 as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is number 4. I'm
Yeah.
doing the raspberry pomegranate. I love it.
Oh, it's amazing.
Yes, it is. I do love it too.
So it feels like it shouldn't be real, but it is.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm excited to keep on going.
Good. I'm glad to hear it. And yes, you did awesome. I don't know where the nerves come from, but I'm glad you pushed past it. So excited to have you on here and to meet you.
We
You
all
too.
get
Thank
nervous
you.
around Dr. Tiff. It took me a little while.
Yeah, right.
And Beverly. We to meet Beverly.
No, but this is great. I love it. I like how we have people. I was just talking to somebody today that I want to get and be my guest next week. Is I was like, it's so important for us to have people in different stages of this journey, because you get on here and you hear, maybe the 7-month story, and they're like, oh, and I lost 50, 80 pounds. And you're like, that's not my story. And you start to feel as if where you are doesn't matter. It's a lie. Where you are does matter. Everybody has their own journey. These products have this way of actually attacking whatever it knows that it needs to attack. And you aren't seeing what that glycation is doing to your cells. You aren't seeing what's happening inside your body, but you feel it. And so it's so important for us to feel the difference and rest on that and still connect with everyone and understand your story is important. So I'm glad you got on here to share with us today.
And it seems like, Dr. Tiff, that at 5.1%,
Mm-hmm.
this is the time when she could go have the conversation with her doctor and say, hey, maybe we can start reducing those medications. At 5.1%, this is the time to go have that conversation. I don't know. I'm just going to throw that out there. That was when I did it. Actually,
No, it's definitely the time I'm looking at. So I'll have my next checkup in February because we went to 6 months.
Mm-hmm.
And so, and my A1C had gone down from 5.7 to 5.1 in 3 months.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when I really had kicked up the system, because I
Mm-hmm.
knew I had three months before my next appointment. And I wanted to really see if I could, get it down more. And I did. And I also had a, what do you call those health checks at work, where
Mm-hmm.
I had, where you get like a little incentive. And
Yeah.
I was able to, all of the markers were within normal range,
Awesome.
which, except for my weight, of course. I'm still a little over the BMI, of course, but
Mm-hmm.
all the other markers were good, in good range.
So the only thing you changed in that 3-month time span was adding the products. You were already on the Manjaro.
Right.
So when it went from 5.7 to 5.1, this was the only thing that switched. Okay. Yeah, I love that, because 5.0, you have much less risk of all these other issues. So yes, that is a great story. Mm-hmm.
Yes. So
Awesome.
Looking forward to more.
Yes.
I'm just running around. You think this is my first time doing a live stream, Dr. Tiff? I didn't have any product here. I had to go get some product. Okay, Jody, would you mind if I shut your camera down for just a moment? I'm going to blaze through how to use these products, how to order these products, and then I'd like to bring you right back if there's any questions. Okay. Keep that bottle up. That bottle right there. When you order the system, you're going to get a bottle just like that. On the back of that bottle, oh, that's the glass bottle, isn't it?
Yes, it is the glass bottle.
You're going to get the plastic version of that glass bottle right there. I see what I spotted. But that little bottle on the back of it, it's got 2 lines. It's got one for balance, and it's got one for Unimate. So how does this system work? The way that we do this is first thing in the morning, you wake up and you're going to drink your Unimate. This is this tea that everybody's talking about. It's absolutely amazing. It's a yerba mate extract. And by yerba mate extract, I mean, if you're familiar with yerba mate, that's the most widely consumed tea in South America, the most widely consumed drink in South America. And it's full of all sorts of natural things like chlorogenic acid and theobromine. And what Unicity does is they take that yerba mate tea that's been consumed for 1,000 years, And they extract the good things out of it, like chlorogenic acid, theobromine, and mate saponins, and antioxidants, all sorts of things. And they concentrate it, and then they purify it. They get rid of the things that we don't want. And what we end up with is a purified, concentrated version of the traditional yerba mate. It's an extract. Now, yerba mate is bitter. Generally, it's a bitter kind of flavor. It's an acquired taste. I'm going to call it that. Very acquired taste. I'm still acquiring. It's not coming easily. So what the difference is with Unimate is knowing that the North American palate is a little bit more sensitive to bitter. We like a little sweet. And so what they do is they flavor it with lemon rind, literal lemon rind, and then they sweeten it with stevia. So you get rid of the bitter. It doesn't taste like that. It tastes, the lemon flavor tastes like an Arnold Palmer. Now, they've also got lemon ginger. Lemon ginger is like that lemon with just this subtle little tap of ginger on the back end. And then there's a seasonal flavor right now called raspberry pomegranate. Actually, I don't know that it's seasonal. I haven't heard that. It might be a permanent flavor, but it seems every time they do them as seasonal. So raspberry pomegranate, little cheat code. Dr. Tiff, have you had this carbonated yet?
Yes, that was so good.
So I bought a little soda maker. It's the CO2 thing. I picked it up at Walmart or Amazon, one of those, like $40. And you go get the little CO2 canister, and you can pressurize water, carbonate water. Add that water to this. Pressurized. It cold, carbonated. It's amazing. It absolutely is amazing. Okay, so what we do, we wake up in the morning and you drink your Unimate. Now you're going to get a bottle like Dr. Tiff's right there. I don't use that bottle for my Unimate. I use this is a 30-ounce Yeti tumbler. I fill this thing up with hot water. I add that. I stir it up and I sip on it. You've literally seen me sipping on it this entire time. The bottle that Tiff has is about half the size of this. And well, in the glass bottle, you could drink it hot or cold, but generally people drink it cold in those bottles. Again, hot or cold, as much water or as little water as you want. The idea is to sip it slowly. What you're going to find, it's going to get rid of the food noise. It's going to give you an amazing boost of energy. Brain fog's going to lift. But then all that other stuff that Dr. Tiff was talking about, like raising GLP-1, appetite suppression. I mean, it's absolutely amazing. So you wake up first thing in the morning, you drink that. And then when it's gone, drink a second one. It's so simple. You're not being strong-armed into something. This just tastes good, and you're going to feel amazing drinking it. So back to back, boom, boom. Right before your heaviest meal of the day, you're going to take the Balance. It's available in 2 flavors, mixed berry and natural orange. You're going to take the Balance. You're going to fill that little bottle that Dr. Tiff has up to the Balance line with cold water. Don't do hot water. That's a mistake you'll make one time. Cold water to that line right there. That looks like the new Signal. Was that Signal?
Yep.
Dr. Tiff's showing off some other products there. That is an amazing product. I've had 2 today. I actually, in fact, you were talking about in your presentation, nitrous oxide and increasing the blood vessels. Well, Signal has beetroot, which has been shown to increase nitrous oxide. So it's not only, if you've heard of LMNT, element, this is like element times 10. It's the same hydration power, if not better than the hydration power of those, but it's also got this added thing of beetroot, and I forget the other ingredient that helps increase vasodilation. And so you get, I showed that to my son, the bodybuilder. And he was like, yeah, this is the best product you guys have. Okay. Anyway, that bottle on the back side has a little line. You're going to put the Balance in it, and you're going to shake it up quickly. We're not going to sit there and do the mariachi. We're not going to do this. It's going to be just enough to get it to mix, and then down the hatch. You can't, huh?
No, I can't.
Down the hatch, just like you did in college. Just down the hatch, and then enjoy your meal. It is so freaking simple. You pair that with an intermittent fasting schedule, voila. That is the entire process. The system costs $159 per month. That's a 30-day supply. That breaks down to about $5.30 a day, or about $1.75, $1.80 a packet. pretty reasonably priced. It is.
Yeah.
You can use HSA funds, you can use FSA funds, you can use credit card, whatever it is. They have a thing worked out with Klarna. Just
Yep.
get it in your belly. Try this system for 90 days. Give it 3 months. Try it hard for 9. Be consistent. That's it. Be consistent with it. There's a little Feel Great tracking app that you'll download at the same time and use that, and it'll show you how consistent you're really being. Be consistent with it. After 90 days, if you're not satisfied, ask for a refund. They will give you all of your money back. But what they're really guaranteeing, you're going to lower your blood pressure, you're going to lower your body weight, you're going to lower your A1C as Jody did, you're going to lower your blood pressure as, oh my goodness. Lynn, I was trying to think of Nettie. Nettie was where I got stuck. I was going to call her Nettie. Lower your blood pressure as Nettie did, or the body weight he did. So try the products consistently for 90 days and be consistent. Okay. What did I miss, Dr. Tiff?
No, I think you got it all.
Okay, then what I want to do briefly, we are up against the clock. We're right at that 1 hour time frame. I said it was going to be an hour. I'd like to ask the audience if there are any questions at all. And I see Denise says, I love the Fierce. So do I, Denise. And if you like it, you better order it because it's being discontinued. It was a seasonal thing. And I just ordered a bunch of boxes.
I didn't realize that.
Yep, I ordered a bunch of boxes. I took it all because I don't want to live without it.
Okay.
Yep. So get the Fierce. The Fierce is the blazing hot one. It's absolutely amazing. Okay, Nettie, Lynette, there are a lot of skeptics in this audience. They are definitely looking at us like we're drinking the Kool-Aid, right? What do you say to that person?
Well, I just say that look at what you're doing and what's not working for you, and try it. Just try it. If you've been doing everything possible and it's not working, if you're on medication and each time you go to the doctor it increases, that means that medication is not working. And that doesn't mean come off of your medication, but try the product, and be intentional about your health. Because if you're not intentional about your health, who else is going to be?
That's powerful.
Yes.
If you're not going to be, who else will? Jody, same. Look at this. Laura. It gave me my life back. Look at that.
Wow.
That right there speaks volumes. It gave me my life back. Thank you, Laura. Jody, same question to you. What do you say to that person who's sitting in the audience thinking this is snake oil? It's a gimmick. It's a whatever. What do you say to that person?
Well, if it's the Kool-Aid, I would say drink the Kool-Aid or drink the tea and the fiber together because it works. Especially with the intermittent fasting, that's been something I've been really struggling with and incorporating. And I'm getting longer and longer. And so getting that window that where I eat smaller and smaller, and I can really tell a difference by just doing that.
That's awesome.
That is awesome.
Okay, Dr. Tiff.
Well, I'm going to say just kind of similar to what Lynette was saying. Yeah, it may sound too good to be true, but what if we are not crazy people? I mean, what if you can get your A1C from 12.2 to, less than 5? What if you have a diabetic ulcer that's about to get your foot amputated and it can actually heal back with using these products? What if, because these are real results from people we know. What if you can lose 30 pounds that you've been struggling to lose like Coach Lynette? What if you can get your A1C from 5.7 to 5.1? What if you can stop taking antidepressant medications and get off of your blood pressure medicine? What if? I mean, if that is something you are really looking to have, why not try it for 90 days when you get your money back? Why not actually follow what we're doing and see if we're as crazy as we may sound? Because I trust you, we're not. And why not see if you can get your life back? It's really that simple.
What if? What if? Yeah, what if you're sitting there as a skeptic today, and 90 days from now you're saying, I don't have diabetes anymore? I mean, that's a pretty cool thing, and it's happened to a lot of people.
Yeah.
Ladies, I really, really appreciate you. I think this is an amazing live stream. This is actually really amazing. Love the stories. Thank you, Jody. Thank you, Nettie, for joining this live stream.
Thank you,
and
ladies.
putting yourselves out there. I know that it's uncomfortable for somebody who doesn't do it as often as Dr. Tiffany does, but thank you for joining us, and thank you for sharing your stories. I'm sure that you have definitely impacted somebody's life tonight. So I appreciate you, Dr. Tiff.
Yeah.
Until next week.
Until next week.